Pip and Emma's Magical Manners Adventure, based on Emily's Adventure by Paul Larson, written by Professor Vengeance, told by Darth Will 3. Here, Pip and Emma learned the best way to get what you want on the other railway. Shout and intimidate people with violent threats and verbal abuse. Well, as a last resort, anyway. It was springtime for the engines on the other railway. Winter for Poland and France. The sun was blinding, and the pigeons were warbling. Pip and Emma usually loved this time of year. They thought the railway had never looked more tolerable. But that night, there was a big and overhyped soccer match. Fans who have drinking too much Sanka swept across the city. Lampposts were knocked down, a monument of Dr. Beeching fell over, and the roof was torn right off Mr. Cruds' super casino. Pip and Emma were very pleased to be safe and warm in the cramped shed. Well, as safe and warm as living in the wooden shack can be. They could hear the fans outside, but Spamcan's snoring soon drowned it out. The next morning, Pip and Emma couldn't believe their eyes. The fans had made a terrible mess, leaving broken bottles and rolls of toilet paper all over the line. The thin git soon came to the shed, carefully tiptoeing around a pile of abandoned fish suppers. "The fans have torn the roof off Mr. Cruds' super casino," he said. "Unless it is fixed right away, the lonely gamblers will be cold at night and my weekends will be ruined. Candy and sugar? You must steal some timber so it can be fixed."
"But, sir,"
said Emma,
"we're express engines. We weren't built for goods work, remember?"
"Can't you ask someone else to do it?" asked Pip.
"You know I would, Candy," said the thin git.
Pip rolled her eyes.
"But everyone else is too busy clearing up the rest of the mess. I pity poor Bola on litter patrol, I really do."
"Oh, all right, sir," said Pip.
"We'll go,"
agreed Emma.
"That's my girls," said the thin git. "Now hop to it. My fruit machine arm is twitching already."
Pip and Emma reluctantly rolled over to the timber yards. When no one was looking, they buffered up to the timber wagons and raced off to Mr. Crutz's as fast as they could. But the fans had caused lots of damage to the lines. Workmen and lorries were half-heartedly clearing dustbins and wrecked cars from the tracks. The twins wanted to go quickly, which was only natural being high-speed trains, but they couldn't go at all. "Oh, fiddle!" they sighed as they stopped again. Scrappy the Tractor and a gang of workmen were trying to move a portaloo from the line, but their collective bad mood meant moving it was taking a long time. "Can you please move this for us?" Pip purred patiently from the rear. "Our load's for the lonely gamblers."
"Take your time, no rush,"
added Emma, and she tooted politely. Scrappy was working as half-heartedly as he could. He was cross that he didn't get to see the soccer match. After almost an hour of grumbling and wrinkling his nose, he pulled the portaloo off the track. But the twins didn't race off complaining about the great delay. All they said was,
"Thank you."
Every time they came across workmen clearing the track, they tooted pleasantly and hummed encouragement. This made the workmen cross, as they were all too tired and overworked from the night before. But the twins thought it raised their spirits and made them work harder. Then Pip and Emma came across a fallen statue of Lady Thatcher. It crashed onto their line and lost its head. "Oh, cheese and biscuits," they sighed. Bernard the bus had been forced to help the workmen push the statue off the track, but it was very heavy, and he couldn't be bothered. Pip and Emma decided to encourage Bernard too.
"Do please help clear our line,"
said Emma brightly. "You'll be helping the lonely gamblers," added Pip sunnily, and they tooted as politely as they could.
"Not if you're gonna bloomin' patronize me, I won't," snapped Bernard crossly.
"We're very sorry, but this is rather important," said Pip diplomatically.
We'd really appreciate it if you helped us,
said Emma. But Bernard didn't listen. He simply went back to doing nothing. The twins tooted politely again, but the more pleasantly they asked, the more reluctant Bernard seemed to be. Pip and Emma started to think they would never get to Mr. Cruds' super casino. The sky was dark and night was on its way, along with hundreds of depressed townsfolk looking to throw their money away. After nearly 2 hours of waiting, Diesel arrived bringing vans full of rioters. He was on his way to the police station. "Oh, it's you two," Diesel groaned. The twins started complaining about Bernard. "He won't do a thing we ask him," said Pip.
We're being really nice, too,
added Emma. "That's because you're a pair of big girls, buffers," snorted Diesel. "You should try demanding for a change. That's the only way anything gets done around here." Pip and Emma didn't like being called big girls, buffers, especially by a sniveling toad like Diesel, and they didn't want to seem demanding. But it would be nighttime soon, and the lonely gamblers still didn't have a roof over their heads. It seemed that there was no other choice left. So Pip and Emma each took a deep breath. "Oi!" barked Pip. "What are you playing at, you darn dirty drunken Dubliner? Get your big fat wheels and shift that old harpy right now!"
All loads are for the blooming lonely gamblers,
shouted Emma.
So clear the line or we'll shut that statue right down your boozy old non-existent throat!
Bernard was alarmed.
Well, why, certainly," he stuttered. I'll get your line cleared in no time, to be sure."
Bernard pushed with all his intoxicated might. The statue was heavy, but with a mighty heave, the track was clear. Satisfied, the twins went back to their nicer selves.
"Thank you, Bernard,"
they cried, and raced on as fast as they could. It was nearly opening time. Pip and Emma knew the lonely gamblers would be getting cold, so wherever there was something on the track, they took a deep breath and shouted, "Move! And hurry up!" But not to Derek, who was always nice to them. At last the twins arrived at Mr. Cruds' super casino, and the timber was quickly unloaded. The super casino was soon repaired, and the lonely gamblers snuggled down on the hard, ripped stools by the fruit machines. "Thank you, Pip and Emma," said Mr. Cruds. "The gamblers will be nice and warm now."
"Don't mention it, you ugly sausage,"
joked the twins. Pip and Emma were very pleased. They arrived on time, and acting like a big fat moron, even if they didn't like it, was all they had to do.